Welcome to the Center for Security Policy. I'm Fleitz. On January 12, 2016, on the day of President Obama's final State of the Union address, Iran apprehended and detained 10 American sailors in the Persian Gulf. These sailors were aboard two small ships. One of them reportedly drifted into Iranian waters because of engine trouble. You may have seen photographs of these sailors kneeling on the decks of their ships with their hands behind their heads, and Iranian forces aiming guns at these sailors. A female member of this crew was photographed being forced to wear a hijab while she sat on the deck of one of these ships. So what was this about? Well, many pundits say this was an effort by Iran to humiliate the United States and to create photographs and videos that would be propaganda to advance its interest and humiliate our country worldwide. Well, President Obama, Secretary Kerry, and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, on the other hand, said that this was actually a victory. It showed how diplomacy with Iran works, how these sailors were released so quickly because of the Iran deal, which has allowed relations between both countries to improve. I don't buy the explanation that this was a victory for the Obama administration's nuclear diplomacy with Iran. Our sailors were humiliated. Our country was humiliated. President Obama was humiliated. What's really going on here is that the Iranian government was sending a message to President Obama. It is no coincidence that this happened the day of the State of the Union and that these sailors were not released until President Obama was finished addressing Congress. This was a clear message from Tehran to President Obama. The message was, Mr. Obama, we're in the driver's seat in the Middle East for the rest of your presidency. We are in the driver's seat on this nuclear deal. If you want your nuclear deal with us, this legacy deal so badly, you'll let us do whatever we want in the Middle East for the rest of your presidency. Now, I think Iran delivered the same message to the Obama administration in late December. On the 29th of December, the Obama administration notified Congress that it was going to implement sanctions against Iran for ballistic missile tests it conducted last fall. 2 days later, these sanctions were canceled because Iran protested and threatened to accelerate its missile program if the sanctions were implemented. We know the nuclear agreement with Iran is a bad deal. It has weak verification provisions. The Iranian government has made clear that it does not plan to comply with important aspects of this agreement. Some of its non-compliance is already apparent. The Iranian parliament ratified a version of this agreement that will severely restrict the ability of the IAEA to verify this agreement. But now what's becoming clear is another major problem with the Iran deal, that the Iranian government seems to have a veto over how it will be implemented, that this agreement is going to restrict American policy more than it will restrict Iranian policy. The Iran nuclear deal is national security fraud, and as I've said before, it is important that every presidential candidate pledge that he or she will tear up this terrible agreement on his or her first day in office as president on January 20th, 2017. I'm Fleitz. Thanks for watching.